Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are well. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys my filming setup. By the way, it's the first time here. My name is Henrietta. Please subscribe and let's just get right into the video. For me, it's back to basics. It's always back to basics. I record with my phone for convenience, just because it's the gadget that is the most easiest for me to reach. Most easiest. You don't say most, you don't say easiest. You just say it's the easiest to reach. When I am recording vlogs, not sit down style videos like this one. When it comes to recording sit down videos like this one, I would default to my Sony ZV-1. So for the most part, I've had this camera for about 3 years now, and it's still a learning process. Like, I'm still learning this camera. I have also added a few things, actually a lot of things in terms of accessories, as kind of like an update from my last video where I showed you guys some accessories that I use with the Sony ZV-1. So I still maintain the same microphone, okay, but I do have a HD wide lens attached to the camera, and I do have an adapter as well, just to help me with the battery issue that this camera has. Outside of that, it's still pretty much the same thing. I showed you guys the light that I use currently in one video as well. As I'm mentioning all these videos, I'm just going to be linking everything in the description bar so you guys can check it out if you want to. But the main thing really with any gadget is, are you utilizing the gadget? Are you using it the way that it's supposed to be used, in terms of what does your setup look like, what's your lighting like, and then what is the setup of the camera like? Before I even go into that, one thing that it's important for you guys to note is, even though I show you my setup, that's not literally, that's not how the video is going to look like once I am done editing. So editing involves adding light, editing involves adding color, editing involves cropping, editing involves a lot. So the way my video looks like right now, for instance, okay, you know what, I'm just going to insert it. So this is unedited, this is natural, and then what you see after this is the edited version. So you have to edit the content. Well, most devices, you kind of have to edit the content, especially if you're going for a particular style or ambience, or you want that cinematic look. You just have to kind of edit the content, add a lot, right, add a preset, whatever. So yeah, you have to edit the content, but beyond editing, or at least taking that aside, I'm going to show you what my setup looks like, and then I'm going to show you what the camera setup is at the moment, so you guys can see what I'm working with. So I have that light, right, and then I have my camera. I still use this microphone, so I attach it to the camera, right, and then I also have the main microphone on me. You have to make sure that both ends are turned on. So this is turned on. You see the blue light, it shows that it's on. So that's the one on me, and then of course you guys know, you saw the one on my chest area. So yeah, you just have to make sure that both are turned on and the light is blue. That's how you're sure that you're still recording. So I did mention that I attached the HD wide lens to my camera, and that's just because I really wanted to have more framing in my shots. So this kind of gives my videos like that fisheye effect. Outside of that, I do get a lot more in the frame. So if you're interested in that, yeah, I'll link in the description bar. But yeah, I had to add this just because I wanted to, well, get more in the frame, and I also wanted to be able to attach a filter. So there's a filter attached to my lens at the moment, and that's one of the benefits of having a lens. Actually, I added this. This is the filter that I got, and I'm just going to show you guys a few of it, just so you guys can understand what filters do. So for the most part, you guys know that I have the Canon 600D, but I primarily use that for taking pictures. Like, I use that for taking pictures. It's a DSLR, so best for taking pictures. But I really wanted to push my Sony ZV-1 to see if I could also use it to take pictures, hence the lens as well, and then hence the reason why I decided to invest in filters. Let's see, let me bring out a few. Okay, so I have like 8 filters in this entire bag, and I'm just going to show you a few just to kind of give you guys an idea of what filters do. Okay, so this is like a purple type filter. Yeah, if you want a little bit of that purplish hue to your content, it's called an FLD. Yeah, this. But of course, you need to be working with your lighting and your environment if you're going to be using filters. You just need to know how to work it. I'm still learning it, but yeah, it's been interesting playing around with filters. And then this is a CPL filter. It's a bit darkish, and you can see it's a bit brownish too. So you kind of I mean, you kind of have to learn about filters and how to use it if you want to go into photography. I just have a plain filter attached to my lens at the moment. I have the lens as well, just because I wanted something soft. With filters, like you are, I don't know, about to upload your content to social media and it says apply a filter, like the filter, like that's literally what it is. That's what the filter does. So I decided to invest in filters just to see what the difference it will make to my recordings. Outside of that, to also experiment with taking pictures with the Sony ZV-1. So that is what my setup looks like, guys, right now. Like nothing else. That's all there is to it. The lights, the camera, the lens, and the microphone. Outside of that, positioning. I'm positioned at an angle that I think, well, I believe works best for me, just because I'm trying to have what I want to be in my shot. So I am, a bit in the corner. I wanted my desk to be my background. Let me know I wanted my desk to be my background. I didn't want anything else in my space to be my background. Outside of that, I tried to place the light at such an angle where, it's kind of bouncing off the wall and it's not just right in my face. So my setup is kind of like a little move to the left. It's not right in front of me, because if it was right in front of me, then you guys would see all of the other stuff on this side. But I really wanted to keep you guys focused on this side, because this is my background. Like for this video, I chose this background, so it's set this way, and the light is also set to bounce off the wall and it's not right behind it. Another thing that I noticed with putting my light right behind my camera is that it tends to overheat more. Light on the camera, like it tends to overheat more. So just putting that askew, just a little askew, not directly in front of the camera, I found that my camera doesn't overheat that much, and it doesn't affect my filming and all of that good stuff. But I would say another thing that has combated that overheating issue that I was experiencing with the Sony ZV-1 is the fact that I now have that adapter, and the adapter in the camera, I have to leave the battery compartment open, and perhaps allowing all that fresh air into the camera has kind of helped with that. Outside of that, there is a setting in the camera that you need to kind of turn off if your camera goes off, because it's overheating. I'm going to show you guys all that. So there are a few buttons you need to familiarize yourself with if you're recording with the Sony ZV-1. The first is the mode button, which is this right here. This allows you to set your camera to either photo mode or video mode, aperture priority, shutter priority, and all of that good stuff. So once you push it, you get to see all of the settings that you could set your camera to record, to take photos in. At the moment, we're going with the movie mode because we're recording videos, and inside the movie settings, we're going with the manual exposure, which is this one right here, just because we like to be in control of our environment and the way the footage is exposed when we're recording. The next button that you need to familiarize yourself with is the menu button. Inside the menu function, you can set your camera settings. So you could set, for instance, your custom keys if you want to be able to push buttons directly on the camera, and not have to go into the menu settings to change something. Most importantly though, if you are experiencing the overheating issue with the Sony ZV-1, you need to get to this icon right here, which is the briefcase icon. And then once you push that down, you get to see all of the settings inside of that particular icon. So at the moment, we want to turn that off, right? So you see here where it says auto power off temp. You want to make sure that that is on high. So it says the temperature of the device may rise to prioritize recording time. Would you like to change the settings? Click on OK. So it's on high. What it means is that even if your camera were to be overheating, it wouldn't go off. But outside of that, yeah, that's pretty much it. For you to be able to see what each of these icons up top here do, right? You need to go to each one, so you continue to either move left, move right, and then if you're on one icon, say for instance on this one, which controls the exposure and all of that good stuff, you want to click on the lower dial here, so that takes you to all of the settings inside that particular icon. So I like to film in 4K, so my file format is set to 4K. Record settings is set to 25p, 100m. You could also set it to 60m. Just do what works for you. I don't really think too much about this. What's most important for me is that I'm filming in 4K. What else? Outside of that, I already said manual exposure is what I like, but everything else is pretty much as it is. With this one, once you go onto the network settings, you push the lower dial, it takes you to everything in here. So send to smartphone, send to computer, view on TV. If you click to the right, you get Bluetooth settings, location info, and all of that good stuff, right? Go back up, playback. You have all of this. So just make sure that you're going into each of these settings and then pushing the lower dial to see what is inside each one, just so that you could know what it does at the very least. So to get out of all of this, push on the menu button. It takes you back to your, your regular screen where you see what you are working with at the moment. So the third button that you need to familiarize yourself with, of course, is the function button. And what the function button does is that it shows you everything as it's set up at the moment that you are recording or taking your photos. So the first one is, for me, I said customize it to my audio settings just so that I could, toggle that. It's easy for me to toggle that. My focus mode is set to AF continuous. You could set it to manual, but for continuous, what it means is that you're always in focus. Back to function, my focus area is set to wide. There are other functions as well. Zone, I just set it to wide. That's what most people recommend anyways for recording vlogs and videos like this. Next function is my ISO. I like to keep my ISO somewhere between 500 to 1,000. 1,000 is actually pushing it because that's when you start to experience all the graininess and your footage is not that sharp. You would typically push up your ISO when you are recording in very low lighting situations. But because I have the light and my environment is not so poorly lit, yeah, for my settings and for my space, my ISO was good at 320. If you push that, you could actually just toggle that up and down, just to see what works best for you. Just don't want to be hitting anywhere like, I don't know, 4,000 for instance. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's so exposed. There's no you can't see anything. You're losing all the detail in the picture, losing all the color and all of that good stuff. So you kind of want to keep that as low as possible, and compensate with lighting in your setup and your space. Product showcase is set to off. So what this means is if it's on when you are, let me just do a demo, but what it means is that when you are showing something, for instance, if you're speaking and you're showing something and you hold that thing up to the camera, then the camera automatically focuses on that product. You can see it's focused, right? And the picture in the background is blurry. So that's what it kind of does. And then we're back. So that's what product showcase does. So back to function. The next is assist off. I don't even bother. I don't know why I said that, but yeah. Next is soft skin effect. So the soft skin effect is pretty much to kind of like smoothing out your face if you have a little bit of texture going on, which is normal. So recommended that you keep that to low. Okay, so once you push on the dial to the right, you start to toggle between mid, low, high. At the moment, low, so that you're not looking like a robot. You want to look as human as possible. Well, I like to look as human as possible. White balance, you could toggle that as well.
I like to keep mine at automatic white balance. I have filmed in with the cool white before on a fluorescent light. It just has that bluish hue to it. What else? Picture profile. This was just something I was doing before. So with this, what it means is that you're recording your content or your footage flat, right? So there's no, like, it takes out all of the lights, takes out all of the everything, and then you can start incorporating lighting and all of that good stuff, saturation, when you are editing the content. I find that what works best for my skin tone is this picture profile 4, but when you start to go all the way to picture profile 10, you start to get almost, I don't know, like there's a dusty feel on top of the footage, right? So I didn't want my footage to have a lot of that, you know, that dusty feel. I don't know how to explain this, but that's what allows you to get all of that cinematic effect and, you know, all of that slight distortion in your content that just makes it look very cinematic, right? So but for me, just because I'm recording my face and I wanted to keep it natural, right? I opted for picture profile 4. What else is in the settings? ND filter is set to off, and then my exposure is set to manual mode. So that's pretty much it as far as my settings is concerned.
So I started out recording videos with my Canon 600D, and I wanted to start vlogging, and I realized that, oh my goodness, this is too heavy to log around. So I decided that, okay, I'm going to use my phone. Started vlogging my phone, and because I was recording my videos in 4K, I didn't have any space. Anytime I want to record, I would delete an app. Anytime I want to use an app or install an app, I'll delete some videos, and it was just a lot. I was like, okay, you know what, girl, you need an upgrade. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of would know when you need an upgrade. So I decided to invest in the Sony ZV-1 just because it's, you know, it's very lightweight, and I could just use it to vlog, and it filmed in 4K. And then I started to record with the Sony ZV-1, and I was just like, you know what, yeah, maybe I don't need my Canon anymore, but sometimes I still default to my Canon, and I'm just like, okay, you know what, maybe I would just use my phone, because I cannot be putting this in my bag all the time. Like, it's never enough, right? My point is, it's never enough. So you will kind of know when you need an upgrade. And for me, right now, I don't. Even though now this camera is more like a DSLR, DSLR, as opposed to like that pocket-friendly camera with all that I have going on. With the fact that I even have to use like the adapter to record my sit-down chit-chat videos, and then there's the bulky lens as well, which I absolutely love, because it's actually forcing me to learn more about photography and how to take pictures, and it's just forcing me to push, you know, this camera, like use the camera, guys. I'm using this camera, I won't even lie to you. But yes, like I was saying before, I, you know, kind of went over tangent. You want to make sure that with any gadget you're using, you are maximizing the gadget. You are not underutilizing the gadget, because many of the gadgets, cameras, phones, whatever that we use, if you actually were to just search for how to film with that specification, you'd be surprised at how much you would find online, on YouTube, on internet, about how to use that particular camera or that particular phone to record videos. So like, why not use it, and then when you get to that point where you feel like, okay, I need an upgrade because this is too heavy, or just because, oh, I now have this filming setup that requires like lighting and all of that good stuff, then go right ahead and invest in one. But until then, use what you have, learn what you have, and just enjoy the process. It's all about keeping that content creation process simple and that filming process simple in 2025. Anyways, I hope that this video helps you. Please let me know in the comment section down below, and thanks for watching. See you in my next video.